Wait a second. No. Please tell me that this is some kind of a joke. Are you telling me that you're really Josh's mom? I knew that his real parents had gotten a divorce and felt so bad for him, but I had no idea that his dad had married you. But don't you worry, though. I'll take perfectly good care of little Josh and make sure he gets all the love that he needs. I take it this is Laura, then? Well, I just wanted to say that I appreciate you coming over today. It was very lovely to meet you. I guess you were pretty surprised to find out that Josh's dad had remarried then. I'm surprised Josh didn't mention anything at all about having a stepmother. Well, it's not like I can really blame him at all for wanting to hide something like that from the world. I mean, I bet he was just so embarrassed to even have to introduce you as his mom. It must be so awkward to have to tell everyone that he is a stepmom. I really don't think that Josh is embarrassed because his dad remarried. And besides, just because we're not related by blood doesn't mean that I don't care a lot for him. Oh, of course not. I'm so sorry. I never meant to imply anything like that at all. I mean, I'm sure that you really believe that deep down. But whatever, it doesn't really matter to me. After all, Josh is going to be all mine soon, so you don't have to worry about keeping this up for much longer. Laura, I'm not sure if there's been some kind of miscommunication or something like that, but you should know that I really care about Josh. And just because we're not related, that doesn't mean that I don't still think of him as my son. Do you understand? I really would appreciate it if you just stopped talking as if I'm just holding on to him for someone to take him off my hands. Oh, come on. You don't really think that you can actually think of Josh as your son, do you? I mean, I know for a fact that you were divorced as well, weren't you? So I think we both know that you were just someone else's trash that another man felt bad enough for to take back home with him. Honestly, though, his dad was better off marrying someone younger than him this time. Laura, do you have any idea how terribly rude you're being right now? Where is all of this coming from? Oh, am I being rude? How do you figure that? I really didn't think I was being anything like that at all. Well, you're being rude and you're saying all kinds of terrible things. Now look, I am telling you that I think of Josh as my son, and nothing is going to change that. I don't care if you don't like it, it's how things are around here. Oh man, you're even more delusional than I thought if you really actually believe that. But if you're really going to act like this, then maybe I should just call the wedding off. Hold on a second, you're telling me that you're going to call a wedding off all because your fiance's dad got remarried? Okay, fine. You're lucky that I'm kind enough that I wouldn't actually do that, but yes, obviously that's a huge deal, so don't act like it's not. It's going to be so embarrassing to have to explain that you're not even my husband's real mom. I'll just have to explain that my father-in-law made a mistake and for his second marriage ended up picking poorly with you. Laura, I'm really sorry, but I have no idea where you're getting any of your information from. What makes you think that you can talk to me like this? You've got some real nerve. Do you realize that? Okay, so you say that, but am I wrong? Was I off about anything? Because I don't see why you should be getting upset at me just for telling the truth. But I heard that your father is actually quite rich, isn't that right? So maybe there is some logic as to why Josh's father chose to marry you after all. Again, I really don't know where you're getting any of this information from at all. But you really have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, come on, don't try and hide the truth from me. You don't have to go and do that. I mean, let's be real, it's obvious that you're really not all that good looking. You had to be picked up for a reason. So you think that after a woman has gone through her first divorce that the only reason a man would ever want to marry her would be for some ulterior motive? I mean, I didn't say that exactly, but if you want to put those words in my mouth, feel free to. But you really are the classic example of this happening. You know that you're nothing but another man's leftovers, so as a defense mechanism, you've latched yourself onto Josh to try and feel like you have a real purpose here. And now you're just mad because I'm pointing it out. Wow, just wow. And you're telling me that Josh really wants to marry a girl like you? Because I had no idea that he had such poor taste in women. You have to be one of the rudest people I have ever met. Well, I suppose he knew that it was best to marry someone young and pretty like me. But But it's okay. I know the effect I have on other women. I know how jealous I make you. But at least Josh was smart enough to snatch me up when he had the chance. But I guess you would really have no idea about marrying as a pretty girl. Yeah, I guess not. You sure are right about that. Anyways, I thought I had heard all about you from Josh, but it's clear he neglected to tell me a few things. Well, anyways, I just wanted you to know that you did a great job taking care of this boy who wasn't even yours. And for that, you do actually have my thanks. But you should also know that after Josh and I get married, he's not going to need you in his life anymore, okay? Oh, really? Because somehow I can't actually see Josh saying that he won't need me in his life. But now that I know who he's getting involved with, I have some serious thinking to do.
Hey there, Rachel. I was just curious. What did you think of Josh's fiancée, Laura?
Well, my impression before meeting her was that she was this lovely, polite, kind person. But I think there are some things about her personality that didn't quite sit well with me when we actually met.
Yeah, I think I might know what you're talking about. I mean, she couldn't even hide the look on her face when she found out that you were Josh's stepmom. And I think it was after we had said that her attitude about things began to change.
I'll sure say so. She completely started looking down on me the moment she realized I wasn't Josh's biological mother. Not only that, but she even texted me after she had left our house for the day.
Oh, really? She did? I didn't know that. What kinds of things was she telling you?
She was just insulting me for having been divorced before and for not actually being related to Josh.
You mean to tell me that the woman our son is going to marry messaged you just to tell you those things? Wow, she really isn't the girl we thought she was at all.
Well, I am just sure that that's her showing me her real colors. I just don't know how Josh hasn't seen that yet.
Well, then what do you think we should do about this? I mean, this is the woman that Josh loves, so should we say anything about all this?
Part of me wants to think that this is all going to come out in the open on its own, but I would hate for Josh to regret his first marriage. And I would feel just awful if I saw him get that hurt over being lied to like this.
Rachel, you really are so thoughtful. Do you know that? I mean, I really couldn't ask for a better mother for Josh. You're sweet when you need to be. You know how to discipline him effectively. I'm sure that you've prepared him to go out and be his own man in this world.
Oh, Hank, what is this all of a sudden? You're going to make me blush talking like that.
But I'm being serious. I mean, just take his job. He was so unsure of himself at this position, but you encouraged him and egged him on, and now he's managing the whole place. He owes you a lot.
Well, we weren't even married back then. I was surprised that Josh felt comfortable enough to talk to me about that.
I know I was too, but that was the moment I knew that Josh needed someone like you in his life.
You do know that I also care deeply about Josh as well, right? He really does feel like my own son, and I would do anything for him.
Well, I think you've already done more than his real mom ever has for him. I can't think of anyone else more qualified to call themselves Josh's mother.
I am so happy that you think that, Hank. But I can think of one person who would say that I'm not.
Oh, right, Laura. I just really don't even know what we can do with someone like her. Of course, I don't want Josh to regret this either. But I'm just glad that Josh has had someone like you in his life. I'm sure he'll make the right decision for it.
Oh, Hank, are you forgetting that you're Josh's parent as well? If he's raised any kind of way, it's because of us both. I'm so happy that we've all found each other and are part of each other's lives now.
I agree with you there. I really don't think that I could have done any of this on my own without you there. So, I just want you to know how grateful I am for you.
Hank, you are a very sweet man, and I am so happy we're together, but we really do have more pressing matters to be talking about right now. We still have to figure out what we're going to do about Laura and how we might be able to show Josh the truth. Hey there, I just wanted to let you know that since I'm going to be marrying into the family, what's yours is going to become all mine, right? So anyways, that's why, while you were away on a trip, I decided to use the house. Hold on a second. You mean to tell me that you did all of this? You're the reason our house was trashed when we got back? There was trash all over the floor, the freezer was left open, and I was missing all of my purses and makeup. Are you really telling me that you were the one that did all of that? I mean, that sounds a little dramatic the way you're putting it. All I did was borrow a key to the house. I figured you all wouldn't mind since you were away on your trip. So then you admit it. You admit that you broke into the house and made all this mess? I'm of half a mind to call the police, you know. Oh, please, don't make such a big deal out of this. It was only me who did it, so there's nothing to worry about at all. Of course there's plenty to worry about. We all thought that a burglar had broken into our house or something. And where did you put all my things that I can't find, huh? You can't just take my things without asking me. What are you talking about? I'm your daughter-in-law, aren't I? If you were kind enough to raise someone you weren't related to, like Josh, why can't you be kind to me? What in the world are you even talking about? Don't you realize that you've committed a crime by doing this? I don't care at all if you're my daughter-in-law. You really are such a pain, do you know that? Well, I just want you to know that your selfishness is not winning me over. And at this rate, I'm never ever going to really see you as my mom. I don't care at all about that. Do you have any idea where you stand right now? Just give me my things back right this second. Hey, Rachel, you do know that today is my wedding, don't you? So just what in the world do you think you're doing, huh? What are you talking about? I only went to go and speak with you a little bit and you threw a can of beer right at me. Well, I don't ever remember calling you over to speak to me in the first place, do you? Excuse me? What is that supposed to mean? I mean that you're nothing to this family after today. You're just a stepmother who is going to fall away into the background. It's high time that you realize you don't have a place here anymore. So you better not show your face around here again, or else I'll call the police and have them drag you out of here. Got it? Well, if that's the way you're going to act, then of course I'm not going to go into your wedding. Don't you worry about that. Oh, really? Well, wow, that was a lot easier than I thought. And here I thought I had a reason to worry about you. But the only people that are going to be allowed at the wedding are blood relatives. Oh, really? Is that so? I must have missed that memo on the invitation. Well, just as long as you realize where you stand in all of this now. I really don't care at all if you and Hank want to cut Josh and I off. I'll just tell everyone that I couldn't make things work with my no-good, cruel mother-in-law. It's obvious that this was your plan right from the very start, but whatever. Do what you will. Hey, what the heck is going on here? Why am I being told that we can't start the ceremony until you arrive? I don't get what you're so shocked about. Why are you even bothering to message me about this? Well, I mean, I don't get it. I was just told that the venue got a call from you telling them to cancel the whole wedding? What the heck is going on here? Well, it's just what you said. I canceled the whole wedding. Consider it payback for throwing that beer at me. But this doesn't make any sense at all. Why would the staff listen to you about this? This is my wedding. You shouldn't be able to cancel it. Well, I was the one who arranged for it all and paid for it, so... And you should also know that it was Josh who asked me to do all of that to begin with. I guess, now that you say that, Josh did say that you knew a lot more about throwing a wedding than he did, but I had no idea that he had left all the planning up to you. Yeah, well, he did. And I was involved in this wedding every step of the way. But I guess you really had no idea about that at all. So then you're telling me that you put this together and Hank had nothing to do with this at all? I don't get it. Why would he let someone like you arrange the whole wedding? You're nothing but a housewife and just another man's trash that Josh's dad picked up. Yeah, you really need to check your facts on that one. First of all, I married Josh's father for love. Second of all, I know that you think that Hank owns a business, but I'm the one that does that. Hank is just my assistant. What are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense. Of course it does, and I used my connections with the manager of the venue to get you a good deal. I really did have to pull some strings all to make this wedding come together, so it is such a shame to cancel it. But don't worry, you'll be getting the invoice for the whole thing in the mail soon. Wait, what? You're going to try and make me pay for all of this? How would that even work? Well, it's the policy of the venue that the person making the reservations has to be there at the time of the event. But since you threw your beer on me and kicked me out, the venue can't start the wedding. And everyone did see you do that to me. But, I mean, this is Josh's wedding. Are you really going to cancel it just over this? Actually, he just messaged me and agreed with what I was doing. He apologized for being so blind to the person that you really are. That can't be right. You mean that Josh is really breaking up with me? This can't be happening. I won't allow it. Well, in case you haven't noticed, the decision really isn't in your hands at all. And Josh is terribly upset with you. He's upset with me? He should be upset with his stepmother pulling the plug on his own wedding. Why is he even this upset about it? I already explained this to you, Laura. Just because we're not related by blood doesn't mean that we don't care very much about each other. I think of Josh as my son, and he thinks of me as his mom, and it's been that way for a long time now. But this doesn't make any sense. How could someone feel that way? Well, Josh's mom died when he was very, very young. I had already known Hank through my work, and I got to know Josh from a young age. So by the time his father and I got married, Josh and I were already very close. When his mom died, I had no intention of marrying Hank or becoming Josh's mother, but then life just sort of happened to push us together. I mean, you do know that Josh calls me Mom, don't you? Does he actually call you Mom? I guess that I just never noticed that. Well, after Hank and I got married, Hank's health worsened and eventually he couldn't run the company like he used to. He asked me to take over for him, and he's been assisting me ever since. But I still don't get it. You're not even Josh's real mom. How could he be getting this upset just over what I did to you? You really aren't a strong reader at all, are you? I practically raised Josh from when he was a baby to the man who he is today. So I'm really not sure what you thought you were accomplishing with your little attack on me. All it served was to turn everyone who might have been your friend against you. So then, you're saying that this is all my fault and everyone thinks that I'm the bad guy in this? I don't even think it's a matter of thinking that. I think that's just the plain truth, if you ask me. You threw beer on your own future mother-in-law and tried to throw her out of your wedding. At this point, everyone probably just thinks you're only marrying Josh to try and get to his family's money. But you should know that I was never going to allow that to happen in the first place. Oh, and by the way, the house was installed with security cameras, and now I have the footage of you stealing all my things. I've already told the police, and they're on their way right now. So I'll be sure to make you pay for those as well. Have a nice life. After that, Laura changed her tune and begged me to come back to the wedding and call off the police. But by then, Josh had already come out to talk to her and explained to her that the wedding was off and would never be back on. Laura was also arrested for her theft of my things and for her assault on my person. In court, she was fined with the whole of the wedding, as well as the goods she stole, and had to take out a huge loan in order to repay all that she owed me. I heard that after that, she lost her job because of the scene that she made and the videos of her that circulated around the internet. She was so embarrassed by all the rumors being passed around by her coworkers that she couldn't stand to be in the company any longer. Now I hear that she lives in a tiny apartment that she had to move into after quitting her job. Unable to find any new work at the same pay, she was forced to take on multiple part-time jobs and live a life of poverty in order to pay back all of her debts accumulated from her bad behavior. Josh apologized to me and said that he truly had no idea what a horrible person Laura was. I said that was okay and that love sometimes makes us blind to the red flags that we would otherwise pick up on. Josh has been quite sad since his wedding fell apart. But I'm doing my best to be there for him and encourage him to never give up on love. I think him knowing that his father and I found each other in our adult years gave him some reassurance. Since then, things have mostly gone back to normal, and I've returned to managing Hank's business as I had been. Josh is next in line to take over the company, but he is still training to understand all the different departments and roles that he will have to supervise over when his time comes. I realize that to the outside eye, a family like what I have with Hank and Josh might seem a little unorthodox. But it doesn't change the reality of the feelings that we all have for each other. Family truly is what you make it, and I am glad that the three of us were strong enough not to let a woman like Laura get in the way of that. Love truly is strong enough to overcome any kind of adversity. The next time someone tries to tell me that I'm not really family with those who I know in my heart are, I already know it won't even faze me after the kinds of things I've had to deal with in this most recent episode involving Laura. I only hope that Laura herself can pull her life together and learn a valuable lesson about respect. Otherwise, she is going to have a hard time fixing her life and digging herself out of the hole that she's dug through all her bad behavior and annoying antics. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.